what you guys see and what I see on the email alerts here. Oh, okay. Count to infinity. Thanks for a lot for the follow too. Really hope you guys are enjoying it. All right, so we're playing knight c3. This is the Nimzo Indian defense, and now it's the Queen's Gambit. So d5 just goes in the Queen's Gambit. I'm going to end up exchanging here. He should take back with the pawn. It's a much better line, in my opinion, in order to kind of equal out the space in the center. Knight takes, though, I just get 2 free pawns in the center. If you've watched the stream during the past week, this is usually a pretty big factor in winning a couple of games, as we've seen. Just the extra space that black has to deal with. C5 is what he's supposed to do, counterattack the center. I'm going to play a3. I'll explain this move if he captures on d4. I'll explain it. Okay. The idea behind a3 is that now when he captures, there's no bishop to b4 check anymore. Right? There's no bishop check. If he could play bishop check, I'd have to block with my bishop, and then he could take the pawn. So a3 looks weird in this position. It looks pretty weird, but the idea is to prevent the bishop check after the exchange there. Chess openings ruin chess. He wins games just by knowing all the openings. I also play chess 960, which is completely out of opening prep, so it's not just based on winning the games based off the openings, necessarily. But it does contribute sometimes. Have I lost a game yet since 800? I did actually lose a game on time because I was paying attention to the chat more than the game at the very end, despite having checkmate in 2 moves. So, so you know, I did lose a game on time there. All right, we're gonna play bishop g5 just to kind of harass him, see what he decides to do. f6 is not very good. Bishop e7 is also not very good. He probably should just check here, honestly. Yeah, he should just check. That's fine. I'll go back to d2. He should now probably play queen b6. It's probably a fine move. Or go back. I kind of got a free move out of bishop d2. We're going to go bishop c3 now, just to guard the pawn and threaten to push. Alright, not a fan of this move here. It looks like it just loses a pawn. But if I capture with my pawn, he trades queens and plays bishop e6. There is a better way to win this pawn. d5 is the better way. Once the knight moves, then I'll play bishop takes pawn there. And instead of blocking my bishop, if I did that, if I took with the pawn with my bishop, I would be blocking. But now I actually get a very strong bishop on e5. The rook has to go to g8, and his position's kind of crumbling at this point. I could have also played knight takes e5. That would have also been fine. The queen check's not a bad idea here. I think I'm just going to play knight d2, though. I don't really want to trade queens now because he's definitely got a weak king side, so I want to keep the queens on the board here, if I can. Queen d2 would win, but I'm going to do knight d2. Hey, still bad one. Thanks a lot for the follow there, too. And Sandoon, thanks a lot as well. Shout you guys out as soon as they pop up on my email alerts here. Okay, rook g8. He can't castle kingside anymore. Now the next job is to make sure he can't castle queenside. Let's go queen b3. Oh, I might play bishop to b5 check next move. I think that will win pretty quickly. Bishop to b5 check is the next idea. Or queen b5 check. Either one of them should win with not too much trouble. Okay, bishop h6. Obviously, he's attacking the pinned piece there. Let's go check. He'll play king f8 probably. Bishop d7, I can exchange and then pick up the b7 pawn, and he's lost immediately. Yeah, they're important at the high levels, but they won't win games. That's true for the most part. Of course, if your opponent makes a big blunder in the opening and you knew the opening better, then, you know, that does contribute. I think we're just going to play queen b4 and offer that queen trade. Not necessary to opt for a queen trade, but it's pretty much, I have no risk of losing now. Let's just take with the... No, I can't take with the queen. That'd be bad. I gotta take with the king. They help not to lose them. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Day 4? Yeah, I did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday last week. So, day 4 right here. D6 wins? I think D6 wins immediately. Even though the D pawn is pinned, though, I guess. Let's see if he moves the knight, it wins. Let's put it that way. Middle and end game are much more important. I'd say the middle game, the early or the late opening, and the middle game are probably the most important, especially at this level that I'm playing. End game is still important, but it doesn't necessarily happen every single game. And of course, the very beginning of the opening, hopefully nobody's making just gigantic mistakes or stuff like that. I look like this guy. Oh my god, incarnation, search it. Alright, we're going to take here. This is actually a kind of cool checkmate. He has to play queen e7 to block the check. Okay, so that's a pretty cool looking checkmate. All right, this queen is pinned to the king, and it's a promotion to a queen checkmate, and you can't go to g7 because my bishop controls that square. So that's kind of a cool looking checkmate. Let me click on this video on my second monitor. I look like the I look like the League of Legends pro player. Incarnation, he's their new mid laner, right? I'm pretty sure that's correct. Okay, so I'm gonna analyze this board here. Okay, so the opening here, like I said, he should capture back with the pawn. This keeps the equilibrium in the center equal. And then and then I would play like bishop g5, and the opening would go from there. When you take with the knight, this allows me to get this nice pawn center going on here. If I play League, hit you up. What's your is that your username? Romeo XT? Yeah, I could hit you up. I'm probably gonna hop on later tonight anyways. Alright, so c5. This is definitely a reasonable move to counterattack the center here. The idea is that if I play, let's say I play knight f3, which looks pretty normal. He takes, I take back, and then he gets to check with his bishop. Herbie? Okay, I'll add you on League later, if I remember. Let me copy that name here just in case. Okay, I got a copy here just in case. Okay, so the idea is if I just do knight f3, he exchange and plays bishop check. Oh, just Herbie. Alright, just Herbie. Okay, so after bishop check here, I play bishop d2. He gets the exchange and castles. I'm still better, but we've exchanged some pieces. He plays knight c6. He attacks my center a little bit more. I actually like this a3 line, because after the exchange, I get to keep a couple extra pieces on the board. And usually when you're ahead on space, it's better to have more pieces on the board, mainly because the more pieces there are on the board, the better you can attack. The more space you have, it's easier to attack, so they kind of go hand in hand to a degree. G6, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to poke the queen. This is all fairly standard. He should just play bishop g7, and then castle. That would have been the best idea for him. e5 loses a pawn. I could have also taken this way and then played check. That would have been pretty bad for him. But take, check there. He should just exchange queens. His king is so weak here that he needs to get rid of the queens, or else he could get checkmated. And as we see, that happens pretty soon. Nice little kind of crisscross checkmate there. And it's a pretty cool looking mate. Alright, so we'll move on to another game.